Welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Anastasia Williams. I'm just a bit under the weather. I haven't been on for a bit. However, I felt the need to come on and have a little chat with you. First, allow me to once again briefly mention about the disclaimer. My intent is not to come on here and disgrace anyone, go after anyone for any particular reason, but rather is to inform you of matters that's important to our community, to our state, to individuals, conversations and things that are happening right here that many people are not really aware that's going on. So that you know, it's not towards any particular person, entity, but if the shoe fits and you're guilty, then hey, so be it, wear it and keep it moving. I also want to take the time to let you know that my plan is to come on here, discuss with you, engage with people who would like other topics for discussion. It's grown folks conversation. I, I say often, get comfortable being uncomfortable because some of the topics is going to be such intense that, or maybe intense that folks are going to be, their feathers may be ruffled. But again, I say, if you're not guilty of anything, there's no concern that you should even think about because of the fact that it is what it is, what it is. If you're guilty, then you're guilty. If you're not, the more you know, the better you are, and more information that you can share. One of the things that I find in the state of Rhode Island, in the Black community, in the Brown community, is that loyalty, blind loyalty, is something that's a plague in our community. Some folks find it hard to do their homework. We have tools that can get that information to us in a snap, but we choose to just take someone else's word for truth. Now, there are a couple of topics I want to engage with the general public on. One is the Child Advocate's Office, who announced a week or so ago with regards to having an investigation with DCYF and the fatalities and near fatalities that have occurred. However, I also was made aware that the investigation that the Child Advocate's Office is going to be engaged with has not occurred because of the pandemic, and that they're going to start in the investigation probably in the year 2020 of 2019. However, my suggestion, my experience, and where the investigation needs to commence is to go when Jamie M. McDonald was appointed director of DCYF, because it was then that there were so many fatalities with the children, more than 20. And there was no investigation, no reprimand, no termination of anyone that needed to be terminated or made responsible for those fatalities or near fatalities in that time. Now, the Child Advocate's Office is going to say that they're going to conduct an investigation. However, just from a shorter period of time, what happened to those other children who passed on at no fault of their own? Why aren't they going to be investigated? Why is it only going to be a piece of the puzzle? Why is it the Child Advocate's Office is only going to create the narrative that's going to keep them in a good position, or will not have to do as much work going further back? If I was a parent of any of those children that passed on back in 2015 and 16, and moving all the way to current, I would want an investigation because during that time, there was a lot of things going on. They mentioned in their report that that 8-year-old little girl who drowned in the bathtub. Yes, two individuals that were responsible of that child's well-being. One of them left the agency, the department, and the other one got promoted, not only in status and title, but financially as well. Why was that? They were guilty of not doing their jobs, yet and still they were not reprimanded, they were not terminated, and here we are again going to do what works best rather than doing what needs to be done and justice occur. So it would be fair if the Child Advocate's Office would, in fact, do their investigation commencing from 2015 to 2023. That would be fair. Check and balances, because many of those, I can't say many, several of those individuals are still there making decisions to families that are looking for solutions, looking for help with their situation. Investigate that. Look inside your department and weed out the bad seeds that are there. Now, anybody has any information with regards to the Child Advocate's Office, please come on, bring it. Bring it. I'm here and we can do some investigating ourselves. It's easy. Many of those information is public, but don't be surprised if it's dragged down when you ask about it. Dragged on meaning that they'll kick the can down the road before bringing it to you or getting it to you so that you can do your due diligence. But let's do a thorough investigation with regards to the Child Advocate's Office and the fatalities and near fatalities. The other topic I would like to discuss briefly is CD1, which is the Congressional District number 1, who Congressman David Cicilline has resigned to now be in charge of the Rhode Island Foundation, and it's open. Currently, we have 16 individuals who have announced that they're interested in running for that vacated seat. I applaud all 16 individuals who have been courageous enough to announce. But realistically, I'm wondering, I'm curious, how many of the 16 have done their political diligence of really, really strategizing to see if, in fact, they would be the best candidate or successful in achieving that seat. 16. Out of the 16, 7 of them are African Americans, 3 of them are Latina, 1 Native American, and 5 Caucasians. That's history in itself. That is amazing. But how realistic is it? I applaud every and anyone who has the courage and the interest to want to step up for political service, public service at any level. But here we have a SD1 district wide open. And that's a senatorial district number one in the city of Providence, the capital city, which is vacant because great Senator Mary Ellen Goodwin, who passed on a month or so ago, held for 37 years. That's a local seat for which, right at the moment, my understanding, it's only one individual whom has announced for that seat. Where's our folks? This is an open seat. Where is our folks locally? Where is the NAACP? Where is DARE? Where is the Black PAC, the Black Lives Matter? These organizations that promotes or are supposed to be promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion, encouraging, elevating the Black and brown community. Where are they? Why is it that we have no one? It's almost as if it's the best kept secret. Let's keep it low. Let's keep it quiet so nobody else decides to run. Where is the representative and the council person of Senatorial District 1? Where are they? Are they not aware of anyone in their district or their ward that would be interested in running for that seat, announcing that they have an interest to run for that seat? It seems like folks, in my opinion, have announced to run for Congressional District 1 with the hopes that the number of candidates running for that seat will enable one particular person to be victorious. We all know that it has to be one. However, strategically, did anyone, with the exception of the ones who have been through this, before, with the exception of those who have a team to be able to go out there and recruit and do what needs to be done, with the exception of those who have announced that have the resources, surely they are in the front running, in my opinion. Why is it that one will believe that simply because there are 16 people who have announced, and it probably will reduce, that number will probably end up being 5, who knows, by the time you actually have to declare and the time you have to get your signatures. Because it's not an easy thing to do. That's why I'm wondering, did anyone really strategically sit down and think about this? Those that are in office now may have. Not all of them, but I think most of them did. It's like a goulash. It's like a big frittata, a big game, no respect kind of thing. Just do it. But if you're looking to really serve and be change and make change for your constituent, for your state, for your city, you would really sit down and strategize that. I believe that there are 3 serious candidates, not to say that all 16 are not serious. What I mean by serious, I mean that they have the resources, they have the experience, they have the political machine to be able to achieve this. It's not a race that these elected officials should feel that because they have won their district, their House district or their senatorial district, that that's all they need because the numbers are high. But realistically, it should be because you know it's going to make a difference, not because you have nothing to lose. And by virtue of not having nothing to lose, you just slide right back into the current seat that you hold. And or those that are not elected just go back and do what they've been doing. Remember, I commend anyone and everyone who has the courage to step forward and run. This is history. This needs to go down in history. I mean, so many people of color in one race, and then one open seat that's just barren. Barren. It should be like, hey, Nathan, come on. How about that? Identify somebody, talk to somebody. I'm sure there's others. I'm sure. Everybody wants to be part of the movement, but the attention span seems like it's only lasts a moment. So come on, let's get it. Maybe by next month, June, when declaration is in play, those numbers will decrease. One. Two, when you have to get those 500 signatures or whatever that number is, the number of potential candidates will decrease as well. And then we'll have an opportunity of seeing the candidates that are going to, in fact, campaign in all those cities and towns out there, opposed to only their district, that they'll be out there doing what needs to be done. It's not cheap. It won't be cheap. You have to travel. You have to talk. You got to get out there. You got to do the do. So, again, I commend yous. I applaud yous. But I hope you've got a plan that's going to be inclusive of the benefit of the people in the state of Rhode Island, because there is going to be some money spent from the Secretary of State's office for all that paperwork that's going to have to be put out as well. So good luck. I also want to give a little shout out to Adante Martin. I heard a little podcast. He was a No Longer Trap podcast. And the conversation was on parenting and the parents' responsibility and youth. And this man was on point in the conversation that was taking place. I want to shout out to him because it's not too often that folks are courageous to speak truth. You know, it's a habit to talk about it, you know, in close quarters. It seems like it's a lot more comfortable, easier, whatever. But he was speaking it. I don't know him. I listened to him and he was on point. Definitely, we need more Dantes. One of the things he mentioned, which was also admirable, he clearly said a couple of times, he doesn't do what he does for recognition. Does it because it needs to be done and someone needs to do it. So if he can help, he's there to help. And he's been there for those kids and the parents, the administration, there's no limits. So I applaud you, Dante. I applaud you. Keep on doing the good work. We need people. We need more adults. We need more men and women like you doing the real work rather than for the photo shoot only. Let me go in the front. Let me get the little snapshot and do that. No, I believe you was very sincere. Your points came across very clear. And of course, you know, no longer trapped is definitely bringing on some good guests and having some good conversation. And I thank him as well. I also want to give a shout out to Chris Potter, who shared on social media that he finally got the job of his dream after searching and applying for the last 10 years. Chris Potter has been instrumental with data collecting, data sharing, developing. I mean, he is one of Rhode Island, Providence in particular, um, shining stars. He has a wealth of information, but many individuals, ignore the fact. They take them, in my opinion, it might not be his experience, but in my opinion, take him, utilize him for the information he has, and then they discard him. He has a lot of information that the Black community needs and should be sharing so that others will know the truth about Rhode Island, the truth about Providence, the truth about the fact that's going on right to where we're at right now. So, Chris, I commend you. I applaud you. I congratulate you that you finally landed where you hoped to have landed. And I am sure that whatever assignment is given to you, you're going to ace it, and proudly so. Just word of advice, trust with all those other shysters that, welcome you in to get your information and then discarded you. If you get that feeling, run. Even though I know you're not going to, because you're not that type of person, you want to get the information out. But as soon as they get what they need from you, they discard you. So I say to you, you're too valuable to allow anybody else to use you. So congratulations again. Keep it moving, and we will see each other soon, I hope. I also want to say congratulations to Archie Johnson for the Rosa Park Resource Center opening recently. That is a super plus in the Black community, for the minority community. Great, great achievement. Congratulations, Archie. Congratulations. Job well done. Well, as I mentioned, I'm a little bit under the weather, and I could go on and on for a lot longer with other topics of discussion, because there are an awful lot more to discuss. Unfortunately, it's better when we can have the dialogue back and forth. But I'll save the rest for the next time on Real Talk. Some city issues that, folks are talking on city issues, the budget, council members, investigations, um, just to name a few. The housing crisis, which continues, 150 million added dollars for housing. Where did that come from? 250 million, what happened to that? There's a whole host of topics that I would love to be able to engage in today. But unfortunately, that's just as much as I have for today. That issue with the child advocate investigation that needs to go back as far as 2015 opposed to 2020. All the accolades for the individuals. The Congressional District 1 and the Senatorial District 1 seats. And remember, subscribe, like, and share. I will be back. There's more things to discuss. There's more research to be done. There's more for us to all engage in. But until next time, I say thank you for tuning in. Send in your comments, your concerns. Let's keep it going today and every day. With that, I say ciao.